energy prices are really high right now. They've risen twice the rate of inflation. So if you wanted to switch to cleaner sources of energy than fossil fuels, that would come with a lot of cost. Now, China is exporting so many solar panels, batteries are much cheaper. All the things that allow you to transition to clean energy are cheaper now. It's like the cheapest source of energy is renewable energy. That offers a way to address the climate crisis and address affordability at the same time, where in the past, you couldn't do those things.
But wind and solar is gay.
It is gay. The birds don't like it. Like, what if we harness the power of the sun? And they were like, what if we harness the power of corn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hear me out. Wind is cool, but corn. But we've pulled out of the Paris agreements. We've also, I think, COP30 is currently happening right now. We are not.
Yeah. So we pulled out of it. It's the only country to pull out ever.
Well, we're not trying to get another country pregnant, so might as well pull out.
Great. That's another good line for the dating app. I think. Maybe not. I don't know.
I hate myself.
No, don't say that.
No, I'm kidding.
It's because I called you a geek earlier, and now that's really stuck with you.
I know who I am. I'll kick it off here. I'll kick it off. Beep, beep, beep.
That's industry standard. That happens on every.
Welcome to a special Thanksgiving episode of the Ben and Emil Show. We hope you're blasting this on your TV or your
make your whole family shut up so you can say, I'm trying to listen to the Ben and Emil Show
on the JBL. You've hijacked the JBL speaker. Your cousin's playing Fetty Wap, but you've hijacked it.
Fetty Wap.
Yeah. What did I say? I said Fetty Wap.
No, I haven't heard that name in.
That's what you play. If you have a JBL speaker, it comes pre-programmed with Fetty Wap.
I don't think that's true.
I'm in love with my baby. But we have a special guest today.
And it's Fetty Wap.
In honor of the day the Pilgrims first shook hands with the Native Americans and settled their differences.
Got smallpox all over them.
The ones who made peace with the Native Americans, they had a nice symbiotic relationship, didn't they? It was the other whites that didn't
Let's not
get
get
along
into
so
the
well.
Pilgrims right now.
But we did bring in a veritable expert on Thanksgiving.
On all things Pilgrims.
On all things Pilgrims. No, but we're talking about the very uplifting, it's a very good topic that we aren't worried about at all, and it's global heating up. Everything's getting hotter. But with us is Jon Millstein. Is it Steen or Stein?
You're supposed to know. You're supposed to do some sort of like research as far as that
It's
goes.
Millstein.
It's Jon Millstein.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Jon Millstein from Crooked Media. He's working with their climate initiative.
That's right. Yeah,
and he's got all kinds of. I wouldn't say fun things to tell us, but some good things to tell us. Some good things to know.
It's all gravy.
It's
all
gravy.
to go with the Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
theme.
I was just going to point that out. Did you do that on purpose? And it turns out you did. That it's all gravy.
Yep. I love this holiday. I know it inside and out. I know all the different toppings and different things that you eat on Thanksgiving.
What else is there?
I mean, you got to eat corn.
Corn? That's not what I would have said
Gravy,
first.
Yes.
corn, and I guess plate.
Are you talking corn on or off cob?
I actually, if to answer that sincerely, I think of corn off cob as a Thanksgiving thing.
I don't.
Corn's not the first thing I think of for Thanksgiving.
I think of gravy, corn, plate, and family. And cousin walk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cousin walk.
Oh, that's what we should have talked about in the bonus. Is the cousin walk?
Have you guys ever done that? Because this is the thing that everybody else seems to experience, but me. I've never even come close to a cousin walk.
When you go out and smoke a joint together.
I don't like that. Yeah. When someone tells me that they're doing that, I'm like, what the hell? But I guess the truth is, I need to cultivate stronger relationships with my cousin.
That is not the kind of family I have.
Yeah. We're not doing anything like that.
The last cousin walk I remember, my cousins and I, my troubled white trash cousins and I took a walk, we smoked a joint, and we set off a firework that we not manipulated. I forgot the word where we
you manipulated it.
We gaslit a firework. No, we like jury rigged a bomb basically. And the house that I used to live at, we were just down the block from the school, and it's like a shotgun
You blew up
blast.
the school?
It's close. It is an explosion. And when we came back to the house, my mom immediately, she had heard the sound and knew that was us. So we were high, and she's like, "What the fuck did you guys just do?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." But it was us.
That's what you talk like on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's a turkey.
It's all the corn and gravy.
I'm pissed I didn't discover cranberry sauce until I was like 25.
Wait, I'm sorry to make you go back, but you built a bomb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You basically take all the powder. There's this one type of firework called a piccolo Pete.
Oh my
and it
Lord.
burns very slowly through all the powder out of a very narrow opening, thus making a whistle sound. But if you hit it with a hammer and you bang out all of the powder and condense
Dude, don't bang out the powder.
well, that's when I had it pop in my face because I was hitting it
Jesus.
with the hammer and it went "Fts,"
What the
and
hell?
I thought I blinded myself. I
But
didn't.
you present kind of like a geek. Like, what is this side of you that's just like a major bomb making badass?
A friend of mine taught me this, but you put it all into.
Just gonna skate right by them, present like a geek.
I don't care. I get it. Yeah, thank you. You put it all in the corner of a plastic baggie, and then you insert that in an empty 2-liter
Lord.
bottle, and you fold over the edges of that plastic baggie. You screw on the top, and you've already hammered a hole into the top, and it makes a little bomb.
You have to tell the listeners to only do this if it's for a righteous cause.
Just
Like
do it.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
No,
like
I'm
Thanksgiving.
gonna go ahead and say do it whenever you want and blow it up wherever you
Oh my
want.
gosh.
I
Didn't
endorse
expect
it.
this.
I can't wait till the cops show up.
But don't mail it to anybody. Don't send it through the mail. I did do it post 9/11. This is not a joke. 2004, 2005. I set one off in there's a couple tunnels that run underneath the Long Beach airport.
What
and
the
I wanted
fuck are
to.
you-
Crazy.
I didn't tell you this.
You're anarchist.
I wanted to do it because I wanted to get it as loud as possible. I was like,
Dude.
where could I do it where this thing
Wow.
will be as loud as fucking possible? So me and 3 friends built one up, and it was like 10 p.m. on a Thursday. We're going through the tunnel, and there's nobody around. There's no one behind us. And I hit my brakes, and the scariest moment of my life, truly one of them, because it's in my lap, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Crazy.
I hope it doesn't blow up on me. And it's not catching. It's not fucking, because I've got the window down, so I have to roll up the window, and I light it, and the fuse is burning, and then roll down the window, toss it out, floor it. Fucking huge, super cool explosion.
This is amazing.
Super cool. And then we didn't get caught. Anyway,
He's no geek.
I'm no geek.
Yeah.
So, John,
Yeah.
He likes loud noises.
Yeah.
why don't you tell us a little? Yeah, you. What is cracked and what is this
It's actually
environmental?
not cracked. This
Or-
guy is
sorry.
insane.
God damn it!
Why don't
Shut
you-
up, Crooked Media.
Well,
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have you cover.
Oh, excuse me. Crooked and cracked are very similar
Yeah.
sounding.
We've actually concluded the Thanksgiving bomb portion of the
Yeah,
episode.
right. Now
and maybe
we're
we'll-
on to satirical magazines from the mid 2000s. Cracked, mad, you name it.
Something awful.
Yeah, something awful. Yeah, so I work at a company called Crooked Ideas that is a nonprofit sort of associated with Crooked Media. Crooked Media makes Pod Save America. And basically, Crooked Ideas is largely focused on climate. I know you guys kind of from comedy and the web.
Yeah, John is
But-
also a very funny boy. He's not just a he's not just a climate.
He's not just a guy who presents like a dork.
right, yeah, right.
He was actually just in the funniest Christmas commercial you've
I was
ever
I was
seen.
in an yeah. It's true to say that I did acting today, and I
Oh,
was
yeah,
so
yeah.
excited. But we're not here to talk about my acting.
No.
But
But I did want people to know you're a triple
thank you.
threat.
I did acting today, and thank you. So I started working at this company, and it's largely focused on climate communications, and I've just learned so many interesting things over the past year and a few months doing it, and I asked to be on this podcast to talk about it, so the listeners can know that if you want to be on a podcast, you can just ask.
You can
Well,
just ask.
If you're our friend.
yeah.
No, but I mean, I wanted you to come on and do it. We've talked a little bit about it. It is this thing that's completely.
I feel like people have forgotten about
I
it.
know
Yes,
it's
it's-
completely out of the discourse.
It's a very strange thing.
very sad.
Thinking about like the 2016 and 2020 elections, especially, it was like, and 2018 with AOC getting elected, it was this like Green New Deal and like, I mean, I remember even talking to people who they would vote for in 2020 and then be like, the most important thing is the climate crisis. Like, we just need someone who can tackle that. And now it's just like gone.
Yeah, I remember a lot of like tweets about like, well, they finally mentioned climate like 40 minutes into the presidential debate. And I feel like if you were to do any debate now, probably it's not going to come up at all. But it's kind of interesting because there have been a lot of trends that make addressing the climate crisis more easy to do. And part of that has led to some amount of it falling out of the discourse. It's kind of like strategic thing on some level. Like there are a lot of moments now. Basically, there were just elections, in
the off-year elections for 2025
in New Jersey, Virginia. There's one in Georgia.
All across the country. We had one here in California for Prop 50.
Yeah. And I didn't vote for that.
You didn't?
No, I'm just kidding. I did. Yeah. So in all these elections that have happened around the country, the topic of energy affordability has come up a lot. That's like a big thing. And that's sort of a way to back into climate. Like basically energy prices are really high right now. They're like they've risen twice the rate of inflation. And people, it's like now become where it was far down on the list of like economic concerns people had. Now it's much higher. And it coincides with a huge surge or a huge build out of renewable energy that sort of could provide the means to lower those prices. And so like people now talk about clean energy and cheap energy, where maybe in the past they would have said this is for climate reasons. Now they're mainly talking about it in sort of affordability reasons. Like at least that's what kind of Democrats are doing.
Hey guys, we got to take a quick second to talk to you about SUPERPOWER. I actually just got my lab work done today with SUPERPOWER, and I'm very excited. They're a new company designed to help you on your health journey. And if you're anything like, well, I don't want to speak for Ben, but I think both of us are kind of
Weemish babies.
No. Just fed up with the, I pay for my very expensive insurance. I'm like, what do I get out of this? Do I really get a full picture of my health? But I'm anxiously awaiting my results because SUPERPOWER is all about empowering you to actually know what's going on.
With one simple blood draw and over 100 biomarkers, way more than what you'd usually get, which unlocks so much about your body. You got their app that includes detailed information on your heart, your liver, your thyroid, hormones, metabolism, vitamin and mineral levels, even environmental toxins. So, you've got disease prevention to treating that annoying brain fog that you've got to simply optimizing your gym game. SUPERPOWER's got the most comprehensive and advanced system out there. You're not going to have to be guessing anymore about what you should do for your health.
Yeah, they're going to help you. You'll be able to have a specific plan. You'll know exactly what, rather than going to the doctor and being like,
what do I do?
I don't know. I don't feel so good. They're like, oh, weird.
Take more vitamin D, maybe? I don't know.
So yeah, they'll be able to actually help with supplement suggestions, nutritional guidance, lifestyle and behavioral adjustment. And you'll get, which I'm very excited about, you even get your true biological age that you can track over time.
Your blueprint activated with SUPERPOWER. Not only did SUPERPOWER reduce their price to just $199, but for a limited time, our listeners are getting an additional $20 off with code TAKE20. Head to superpower.com and use code TAKE20 at checkout for $20 off your membership. After you sign up, they'll ask how you heard about them, so please make sure to mention this podcast to support the show.
When it was more present in some of these election years, it was more about. It wasn't about cost for people. It was this kind of like existential crisis that.
And I think. Sorry, go on.
No, this existential crisis that is coming for us all, but which it is. I just think that's a bit more abstract to people if they are not being confronted with this on a daily basis, but they are being confronted on a daily basis with higher and higher energy costs.
Are you saying that like energy prices being high and it being something that the administration is trying to get at is running counter to clean energy initiatives?
No, it's kind of two things. I mean, it in the past, the reason why people wouldn't talk about it in affordability terms is because it wasn't an affordability solution. The idea of like renewable energy, clean energy, it did come with like a green premium. And so if you wanted to switch to cleaner sources of energy than fossil fuels, that would come with a lot of cost. Now China is exporting so many solar panels, batteries are much cheaper. All the things that allow you to transition to clean energy are cheaper now. It's like the cheapest source of energy is renewable energy. That offers a way to address the climate crisis and address affordability at the same time, where in the past you couldn't do those things.
Right.
So like everybody's talking about energy prices. Trump is talking about them. Democrats are talking about them. Trump is, a full fossil fuel pilled guy. And when he talks about energy prices, it's all in terms of we need to expand drilling. But
Because that'll bring prices down.
right, which it won't. And Democrats now have this much better avenue to advance climate stuff just through building up more energy.
Right. So from what I understand, because we've talked about it a little on the show, but I definitely do not get super in the weeds on the climate stuff. But I think we were already during the Biden administration, we were kind of getting our asses kicked.
Yeah.
In terms of renewable energy production versus China.
Yes.
China was still, I don't know how they measure it, megawatts or whatever they're doing.
Gigawatts, megawatts, you name it.
China was creating like every year just unbelievable amounts, and we were getting better.
Yeah.
And then with the one big beautiful bill, not only, there were so many things in there people that shocked people, obviously kicking people off of healthcare, all of these things were people took issue with, but the one, at least from an economic standpoint, the climate thing and renewable energy thing just felt cruel to a point of stupidity. And maybe you can explain that a little bit more.
Yeah, basically, I think they needed to find a place to cut, incentives, and I think that was the only one where they could sort of get their electeds to support it. Like, I don't think that they were going to support more larger Medicare cuts than the ones that they did get through. So that kind of fell away. Yeah, basically, like under Biden, they passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which was like a $400 billion investment, or included a $400 billion investment in clean energy. Like you say, it was like a means to sort of build up manufacturing in the US, because we know China is becoming this massive exporter of renewable energy. They're like ahead of us on EVs and solar panels and everything. And so that was a means to, both advance American manufacturing, create a lot of jobs.
I think there was money for building out, maybe it was either that one or in Build Back Better, where there was money for building out the electric charging network for vehicles to make it easier to be able to drive across the country.
Yep. Yeah. So it had all of that. And then, like you say, the vast majority of at least the renewable energy incentives in that were cut under one big beautiful bill. They maintained a couple like Republican energy priorities like nuclear and biofuels, which is like
biofuels,
which is like biofuels are like a
when
Republican.
You grind up people and you shove them in, and you burn their bodies.
Yeah, and then you eat them on the Snowpiercer train. It's biofuels are it's like ethanol.
Yeah,
basically. So it's something that farmers like. So it's kind of the Republican base backs biofuels, even though it's a really poor climate solution because the amount of space that's required to grow the corn that you need to power whatever like way exceeds the space that you could use to make solar farms that would generate like way more energy. It's like 1/100th of as efficient. It's 1/100th as efficient as solar energy
they
from
were
a
like,
space perspective.
They were like, what if we harness the power of the sun? And they were like, what if we harness the power of corn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like,
hear me out. Wind is cool, but corn.
I know, isn't that so funny? It makes me sad because Neil Young was famously, he's a big environmentalist.
Yes.
He was Mr. Corn Car for a long time.
Oh, he had an ethanol car.
He was Major Corn. He had like some old classic car that he converted into a corn car. And, I guess at one time that was thought of as a good solution. But basically you have to chop down all these trees. You're using all this land that you don't need to be when you're making corn cars.
So wait, just so I'm just to back up a little bit here. When we talk about energy costs, we're talking about basic, like when you heat your house, when you turn on your stove, everything that powers your appliances, just your electricity in your home, and where that power comes from, be it like a coal power plant
Right.
somewhere, a steam power plant, whatever the city that you're in.
Right. Yeah. Natural gas, I think, is the biggest in the US. It's about 10% wind, 10% solar. And yeah, those costs are going up for a number of reasons. One is the data center build out. That's I think just beginning. Another huge contributor is with the extreme weather that we have, that leads to the power lines being knocked over and stuff like that.
I mean, you look at Texas when they get cold.
Yeah.
Like what happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they should never be cold down there.
Yeah.
I wish those guys were warm all the time.
Yeah.
So then that requires a lot of investment in the grid. So that is reflected in your energy bill.
Here in California, I mean, we've got Edison lines that are 100 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
That nobody maintains because they're now a public company and they have to fucking chase profits. So they're not going to invest in they figured out, I remember, like, it's cheaper to go through the hassle of lawsuits than it would cost us to fix the poor infrastructure.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but California actually is a good example of. I mean, I wish I had this. I remember looking into this when the Big Beautiful Bill passed, and I'm sure California will still try to continue to go down this road. But California is actually a great example of what it could look like if we continue to invest, every year.
The renewables.
Yeah, California is like breaking their own.
Yeah, and Texas,
like crushing their own goal.
Even more so, Texas is like the biggest one, just because
in renewables.
Yeah, because there's so little regulation there that you can just connect to the grid much more quickly. So, it's like a really great example of the fact that renewables just are a better solution right now than building out more fossil fuel power, because obviously Texas, like you would expect a bunch of gas guys doing their thing down there, but yeah, their renewable energy I think it's an even greater percentage than California.
Yeah, wow. And just
Texas. Yeah.
Just to illustrate some of the things we're talking about where it just feels kind of ass backwards here. I remember one of the big ones was the Trump administration fully just shutting down wind farms and other projects like that. One was like 80% completed. It was about to come online. They had invested all this money in getting all these things built out, and it was going to be powering something like 300,000 homes in Rhode Island or something like that.
I think some of those have been unstopped, but yeah, there's definitely a bunch of wind projects that they've stopped. I think there's kind of two trends happening here. One is just an increase in energy demand with all the things we're talking about, and also an increase in energy prices from those infrastructure things we're talking about. And then at a time when the obvious solution to that is to lean into the sources of power that are easy to build, which are basically, solar and batteries is basically the best thing to be building out. Trump has just gone on a full sort of ideological warpath and done everything to stop clean energy. Some of it was the stuff in the Big Beautiful Bill. Some of it was stuff that followed that, like what you're talking about, just stopping these wind projects and other renewable projects.
Hey, everybody. This episode of the Ben and Emil Show is brought to you by Booking.com. I got to say, if you're one of those people out there who's trying to grow a vacation rental business, Booking.com is the place to be. It is one of the most downloaded travel apps in the world, and it's for a good reason. Since 2010, they've helped over 1.8 billion vacation rental guests find places to stay. That's billion with a B. 1.8 billion vacation rental guests. Jeez Louise. But here's the thing. Most vacation rental hosts don't even realize they can list their properties on Booking.com. And if you're not on the platform, your rental is basically invisible to millions of Booking.com travelers worldwide. After all, they can't book what they can't see, right?
But once you start listing on Booking.com, your property gets seen by a massive global audience of unique travelers. That means more visibility, more bookings, and more opportunity to accelerate the growth of your rental business. And it couldn't be easier. You can register your property in as little as 15 minutes, and nearly half of hosts get their first booking within a week.
Wow. So if your vacation rental isn't listed on booking.com, it could be invisible to millions of travelers searching the platform. Don't miss out on consistent bookings and global reach. Head over to booking.com and start your listing today. Get seen. Get booked on booking.com.
They wanted to make sure that DEI initiatives were not like taking place on federal projects or something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and
in case like there's just like a whole diverse crew sort of hanging onto a wind turbine, like spinning around and smiling ear to ear.
Right.
Like he had to stop that in its tracks. Sad.
Right, but that's where I'm like, it's there's this cruelty to the point of stupidity. I mean, we're all locked in here together as a country, you know what I mean? And we're going to need more and more. We're going to need more and more energy. And this is
wind and solar is gay.
It is gay. The birds don't like it.
It's gay.
And to like put a firm point on it, like not only are they much cheaper, like if you wanted to build a new natural gas plant right now, which is kind of what that would be the best source of fossil fuel energy to build, the delays in just getting the turbines to get a natural gas plant up and running are like multi-year. Trump and Republicans really like nuclear. Like that's an interesting source of energy that also takes relatively
forever.
clean, but it's like decades, always really expensive. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's interesting to think about when this could really like bite him in the ass, because people's energy prices are just going to keep going up. And, it seems like likely that people could connect that to.
Well, but have you considered that even if the energy prices go out, he'll be truthing that they actually
he could truth.
They haven't gone out.
Something? I'm worried that Trump is going to truth later, but I hope he doesn't truth anything.
But he might truth that the prices are actually coming down.
Yeah,
and
he
then,
could truth that.
And then people will be happy.
We should draft a truth and then send it to him. Well, the thing is that they like, he's going to do, the sort of angle that they're going to take is to say, as energy prices continue to go up, they're going to say, see, like you notice that there's wind turbines in your state where there weren't 10 years ago. That's why the energy prices are going up. So I feel like it's kind of incumbent on Democrats, people on the left, whatever, people who kind of care about climate change to sort of let people know that like that's not the reality. Like,
I mean, it sounds like the messaging is honestly less about climate now and more about affordability, which has just kind of
with Trump,
that's the name of the game.
Taken over politics now. It's like everyone is just talking affordability.
And you're kind of on apps. You said like, I feel like you slide into a girl's DMs and they talk about affordability. They're like they light up.
Hey, what's up, baby? How much is you filling up your gas tank for?
Yeah, exactly.
That can let me holler at you about gas.
Yeah, you can holler about anything like that.
You can put 85 in that thing. You don't need to be doing 91 and spending 20 cents extra per gallon. Your car can handle it, unless it's like a German car.
This is too long of a DM, but it is. But
good. Wait. So I want to make the connection between this and climate change, if I can. So the issue is that energy prices are high. And Trump has successfully hijacked the narrative and kind of steered everyone away from climate change by saying that it's bunk and it's bullshit, and renewable energy sources are not only gay, but they are way too expensive, actually. And the cheaper way, the fastest way to get energy prices down is to drill, baby, drill, get us some more oil, get us more coal, whatever it takes to bring prices down. Climate change be damned, because it's hooey. Is that about right?
That's I think that's sort of his line. Yeah, I mean the denialism that's coming out of that administration is, I think, like shocking. I think it's to an extent that it's way more extreme than it was previously. Like I don't know if you guys saw this one action that they took where they redefined carbon dioxide as a
cool gas.
Yeah, basically,
carbon dioxide's cool now.
Carbon dioxide is regulated under the Clean Air Act and through the EPA. Which means that if you're a power plant, you're emitting carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. The government can say you have to emit less. And the through the EPA and the Department of Energy, they redefined it say greenhouse gas is not harmful, which is just like completely counter to what we know about the world.
Science that
Yeah.
settled science.
But yeah, I think you're right that's like the approach that Trump is taking. And yeah, I feel like for Democrats, like the question is whether to just fully cede the climate change thing and just drop that out of the conversation totally and just only talk about affordability, like you know, because you have the ability to do that now that clean energy is cheaper, or recognize that like climate change is happening, it's really bad, you know, it's not being resolved in the speed that it needs to be resolved, and like keep sort of beating that drum in addition to talking about energy being cheaper.
So
energy.
even though cleaner initiatives are now cheaper, Trump is still, is it because he's in the pocket of oil and gas lobby, and because clean energy is gay?
I think it's I mean, there was like a famous or there is a very notable story that came out I think during the campaign about Trump having a fundraiser where he had a bunch of oil executives there, and he told them, if you help me raise $1 billion, I'll give you whatever you want. Like kind of that was the quote coming out of that.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't give him $1 billion, but they gave, you know, they contributed about $500 million to Republicans in the last election cycle. And yeah, I think it's that simple.
But to be fair, I mean, not fair to Trump. It just seems like politically, climate change has had, you know, politicians have basically just turned their back on this.
Well, especially in this administration.
Yes, but my point is, outside of Trump and the Republicans, I don't think this is a thing that Democrats were really pushing to the forefront.
No.
I think that even in 2024, I think Kamala was trying to moderate her position, like, am I for fracking now? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. And totally, I think even still, there's kind of this weird... Obviously, there's a lot of people trying to decide where are the Democrats going to go from here. We lost big in 2024. Like, we need to put forth something that is going to recapture people in 2028 if we ever want to win again. And there have been initiatives, especially from more centrist, moderate Democrats. Like, they put out a big study project called Deciding to Win. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, this is like a very aligned. Yeah, totally.
And their whole thing is, it's very confusing. They're like, we got to be more popular, but the whole thing is a kind of mess. But they talk about how they want to stay away from climate change. Right, they're like, people don't like it. It bums people out. But I think they're really just capitulating, and it's politicians' jobs to drive the narrative on these things. And I think it's just been a real failure to not take climate change in whatever direction and make it a popular, winnable issue, rather than just being like, I don't know, we're getting our asses kicked. Let's just frack.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we've like in the past just few weeks, there have been a bunch of Democratic governors that have kind of reversed their positions on a lot of climate issues. In Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro pulled the state out of, I think it was like some greenhouse gas accounting program, that was, you know, an example of a climate program that has costs, because even though clean energy is cheaper, there are programs that, you know, they account for the damages that greenhouse gases do, and they roll that into the price of the program. You know, if you're doing something where you're regulating a fossil fuel power plant, like that does have a cost. And so Shapiro pulled out of that. In New York, Kathy Hochul just okayed this natural gas pipeline that had been rejected 3 times, and now it's like that was maybe part of her. I think it's been speculated that was part of a deal that got one of those wind projects that was uncanceled by Trump. She like made some arrangement with him potentially to, if she okayed that pipeline, he uncancel that wind project. So I think you're right. Yeah, it's really kind of messed up to see, because it's not like the science is changing.
Hey, everybody, we got to take another quick break to thank another sponsor of the show. You know him, I know him, I love him, you love him. It's MOOMOO. You know, we're always doing research to put these podcasts together, and one of the tools that we use and have used for the last 2 years just so happens to be MOOMOO. For those unaware, if you've been living under a dang rock, say hi to those bugs for me. But MOOMOO is an all-in-one trading platform trusted by more than 28 million users around the world. And on top of having commission-free trades on stocks and ETFs, they also give you such incredible and valuable insights into your favorite stocks, overall trends, and market behavior that we sometimes use to make our podcast. On top of that, you can also use their institutional tracker, which provides insights into how hedge funds and all sorts of institutional funds are allocating across every sector. From there, MOOMOO even gives you free Morningstar research, analyst ratings, premium news from the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg, plus even insider trading data showing who bought, how much, and at what price, all before you place a single trade. And then finally, by the time you are ready to buy or sell, like I mentioned earlier, they have $0 commission on stocks, ETFs, and options, 0 contract fees for equity options, free level 2 data, real-time option change, and advanced order types if that's your type of thing.
So, if you want to streamline your trading, see everything you need to know in one place, and stop losing time jumping between tabs, check out MOOMOO using the QR code on screen or our link below. And for a limited time, as a thank you for trying them out, you can get up to $1,000 of NVIDIA stock as a bonus when you sign up and make a deposit with the link down below. Plus, as if that's not good enough, they'll also give you a 3% match on your initial transfer, up to a maximum of $600. So basically, you can get up to $1,600 just for signing up with the link below by December 31st. So join Ben, myself, and the 28 million other people worldwide that are already using MOOMOO every day.
MOOMOO. Yeah, you don't hear about it at all anymore.
Yeah,
Well, but there's also, I mean, I'm not a political consultant or anything, but like just off the top of my head, I mean, there's a way to talk about this in a winnable way. Like your prices are going to come down and we're going to create jobs. All of these things, we need to hire people, and we're going to do massive investment, and you're going to have a good paying job, and we're going to build out all the shit, and your energy is going to get cheaper.
Independence, I think, is a big one.
Yeah, if you're like a Bear Grylls type,
that is part of the drill baby drill. Is like, hey, we've got more reserves than we know what to do with, and we should be accessing those, thus making ourselves less dependent on foreign oil.
Right.
So I guess,
which is funny because like if you're an oil company and the price of gas is pretty low, if you're an oil company and Trump is just today they announced a plan to open up drilling off the coast of California. If you're an oil company, you're not just like psyched to lower your own profits by drilling if you have like a surplus of gas. Like Trump just can't make people just extract a bunch more oil if they're happy with the price that's set. And I think like to the point about making the case that people are excited about, there's a push to sort of make, it's called like a make polluters pay campaign that would, in light of the fact that oil companies knew about climate change in the 50s, did everything they could to distort the narrative and spread doubt, and at times when we could have taken a different path and moved towards cleaner energy sources, they did everything they could to keep us on this sort of path that they knew would lead to catastrophe.
But think about all the money they made.
I know.
Did you consider that?
Around on a big, beautiful boat powered by stinky diesel.
Yeah.
So in light of that, there's a push to say, okay, well, we need to adapt. Climate change is here. There's prices of adaptation that we all pay for. When our grid is harmed and we need to buy by extreme weather and we need to pay for that. That's the cost of climate change that we're paying. When people are, cases of asthma are going up and people's healthcare costs go up, that's a cost that we're paying that is that the fossil fuel companies should pay for. And I think like that's the case that people argue Democrats could make that's a little bit more like populist and a little bit more resonant with people. It's like, look, corporate power has put us on this harmful path. Like they should be held accountable. Which to me, I'm like, yeah, like of course, like that is so obvious.
You brought up the asthma thing. I didn't even think. I mean, from a messaging standpoint, the health effects are another huge messaging thing that I don't often see. Did you ever read that? David Wallace Wells book.
Yeah, that fucked me up good.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
What book?
It's called
Uninhabitable Earth.
Yeah, The Uninhabitable Earth.
Yeah,
It's
so fucked up.
I would say it's not a fun read.
Yeah, I listened to it in the car. I couldn't even, and my car was stinking out gas.
But he I mean, I haven't read it in a while, but he talks about, I do remember one story where I think he has a whole chapter about health effects, and there was studies done on just places that had switched from traditional toll booths where you stop or wait in line to pay your toll and then continue on, and they switched to people or to the things where you just had a transponder, and so you just drive through, and it just asthma rates dropped like so much just because like in those areas you didn't have a bunch of cars just constantly sitting and emitting emitting all this carbon dioxide.
I wonder if one of those was San Pedro here in LA County, because the Vincent Thomas Bridge used to be a toll bridge, and then now it's just free. You used to have to stop and wait.
It's very possible.
What about nuclear? And especially there's a lot of buzz about like small nuclear reactors, or not portable, but
modular.
Modular, yeah.
I'm not an expert in this.
Sure.
But the most recent nuclear project in the US was in Georgia. I think it maybe has just gone online, and it was went many years over its the deadline they had set, billions and billions of dollars over. So that's like a mega project. I think the idea is that the US is not set up to do mega projects right now. It's not something we can do in a reliable way
because of bureaucratic
that we're just not in the habit of doing them. Like there was a time when they were building nuclear plants and the cost curve was coming down, and now it's been so long since then they kind of went out of fashion, and so now to sort of start up and do another big nuclear project in the mega project sense, very challenging. What you're talking about, the small modular reactors, is like an exciting possibility, I think. And I think there's like one or two, maybe there's like one in Korea, one in China or something like that. Like it's not a right now technology. And so when you talk about this like supply and demand question of energy demand that's increasing with data centers and electrification generally, we need like a right now solution. And so nuclear doesn't really help that much for that. So like a lot of the tech companies which they all have clean energy commitments, they all have like deals with small modular reactor companies to build them to power data centers. And that's something that they may be able to do 10 years from now. But in the meantime, they are just like building their own natural gas generation on site, which is kind of like fucked up and sad. So yeah, I think I mean the nuclear thing sounds cool to me. Like, I mean, it wouldn't be, I don't think it's something I would want like in my neighborhood. I think that's like an issue with it. Like even these small ones, it's kind of like, like that sounds a little spooky. But I mean, I think people oppose renewable energy projects in their neighborhood too. Like there's a lot of like NIMBYism is a big factor here.
Yeah, people generally just don't want large projects.
Yeah, somehow these data centers seem to pop up everywhere though. Like, they seem to be able to override that. They can just like do it wherever they want. But yeah, no, it's true.
Because from what I'd read and understood, especially with the big tech companies leaning toward the nuclear, was that, oh, maybe this will finally be the bipartisan kind of solution here.
Right.
Is, hey, it's very, very, very clean and very efficient and very cheap once it's up and running and at scale.
Right.
But like you said, the timelines on these are just so prohibitive. It's like we need something now, but it's increasingly looking like when you've got an adversarial administration at the helm.
Yeah. It's just so odd. Like to me, I don't even, I'm sure there's a reason why that's a bipartisan solution and solar panels aren't, but I just don't understand it. It's like, what is so, I mean, I guess it's like centralized power, like not energy, but just like literal power in a way that maybe appeals to like really business-minded Republicans, where like solar is like more decentralized. So
maybe they
like
the danger. Maybe they think it's kind of sexy.
God, that is sexy.
It is so perplexing because a lot of people like to point out how China is ahead of us and China is more advanced, and why can't America have these nice EVs, for example, that they've got over there? And we've got all this bureaucracy over here that keeps us from having nice things and having an abundance of power and cheap power. But then in the same breath, they will poo-poo the very things and ideas that could put us on that path, like renewable energies.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
So where are we when it comes to actual climate change and like the Paris Accords and the whole, if we reach, I
don't know much about these tipping points. I have to be honest. Like that stuff is really scary. I have not done my like full research apart from reading Uninhabitable Earth.
Yeah, but I mean, even in those books and stuff, it's like there's no way to. And he says like these things aren't. I can't say these things are going to happen or these things are going to happen at this time or whatever. It's just and it all depends on what steps are taken now and in the future. Obviously, it'd be better if we started taking steps sooner, and we don't know how much we can mitigate. I mean, no one can tell you what's going to happen.
The thing I know about Paris Agreement stuff, we've like, Paris Agreement was 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2 degrees Celsius were like the two targets. We kind of hit 1.5 degrees Celsius last year.
Early.
And that's good, right?
Yeah. And that was for 2100, where we're on track to hit based on projections now is like 3 degrees Celsius, between 3 and 4. But I think like one sort of heartening fact is that 10 years ago, prior to the Paris Agreement, we were on track to hit like over 4 for sure. Basically, we've shaved off 1 degree Celsius, which is pretty significant when you think about like, I feel like there is a lot of talk of like nobody's doing anything about climate change, and I feel like that's not true. Like that, the fact that 1 degrees, when we're talking about 4 degrees, and then you shave off 1, that's kind of good. It's not going to do a lot of good to people who are in like island countries that get swallowed up by the ocean. Like that's really fucked up and it shouldn't happen. But that's significant. That's like something.
But we've pulled out of the Paris Agreements. We've also, I think, COP30 is currently happening right now. We are not.
Yeah. So we pulled out of it. It's the only country to pull out ever. And
well, we're not trying to get another country pregnant, so might as well pull out.
Great. That's another good line for the dating app. I think. Maybe not. I don't know.
I hate myself.
No, don't say that.
No, I'm kidding.
It's because I called you a geek earlier, and now that's really stuck with you.
I know who I am. All right, folks. Let's take one more quick sanity break here before we dive back into the swirling chaos that is this modern world. We need to talk about something that's probably more exposed than your questionable browser history, all those weird videos you're watching, and that's your online data.
It's true. If you're using public Wi-Fi, or even if you just feel like the internet knows way too much about your life and what you're planning to buy, which it does, you need to listen up. We're talking about SurfShark VPN.
SurfShark is your virtual fortress. It's a virtual private network, that's a VPN, that encrypts your entire internet activity, concealing it from snoopers and trackers and bad guys. It's the digital equivalent of wearing very secure, high-quality pants. I know a thing or two about good pants. It keeps all the important things private when you venture out.
And what's awesome is that it secures all your devices simultaneously with just one account. Your phone, your laptop, your smart toaster, whatever. It's all protected. No need to manage multiple passwords and subscriptions like you're running some kind of complicated multi-platform financial scam. Basically, if you've got more screens going than Ben has tabs open during an episode, SurfShark's got you covered.
It brings peace of mind and, frankly, the ability to access blocked content. Want to watch a geo-blocked documentary? SurfShark's got you covered. And here's a little secret hack for you. SurfShark can save you money on flights and hotel bookings by eliminating location-based price differences. So if you've ever checked prices of flights or hotels and then you find that suddenly those prices are jacked up, there's your way around it, sweetheart.
So take control of your digital life. Try SurfShark today, backed by their risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Secure your privacy with SurfShark.
Go to surfshark.com/Bays or use code Bays at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. That link and the code are in the show description.
Yeah. So we're not there.
Luckily, we didn't get stuck in the fire, which is nice.
I know. Yeah, there was a fire there the other day.
You never want to fire at the climate.
That's a fucking metaphor for some shit.
I
I don't know
know.
what. But that's got to be a metaphor.
Well, what concerns me is
the fire.
when you think about we could switch overnight to all renewables, and from what I understand, it still wouldn't we'd be more than offset by China and India alone.
Well,
right?
I don't know about that because I
good.
mean, like you say, like China is moving really, really fast towards cleaner energy,
Mhm.
faster than anyone. They're building. I think the statistic is like a nuclear power plant's worth of clean energy of renewable energy every like 18 hours or something. Just like
That's
a ton of like
crazy.
you kind of picture it like this is like this like Sim City and these guys are working at 3 fast forward speeds. You know?
I mean,
can you
Man,
picture that in
I
Sim City?
miss SimCity. Yeah.
It's alarming. It's many people, myself included, were wondering if when the big beautiful bill passed, if we just committed national suicide here. I mean, I don't
Right.
know how we compete on a national level with. I mean, we're looking at
that's for sure.
3 more years of. I mean, a guy trying to basically dismantle this thing, and it's not like all that stuff is just going to get turned back on if someone with some sense
Yeah.
gets into office in 3 years.
Well, and then the utter disdain they have for all things higher education, and almost discouraging and shaming people that go to college as being this mark of elitism,
Right.
instead of like we should be prioritizing and making.
Well,
It's another thing where they're like, look at China and look at how well they're doing. It's like, yeah, they prioritize things like education.
Well, interestingly, like not to talk trash on China, but the things they're doing are things that we invented. Like we invented solar panels.
China's
and
stealing from
nuclear.
us.
They're just like they're really good at and I'm sure they're great at inventing stuff also. But these are technologies that came from the U.S. and then they're
American
good.
Chinese food,
Yeah,
General
exactly.
Tso's chicken,
Yeah,
orange chicken, etc.
yeah. But getting back to the idea that it's like we're going to be our whatever we do would be outweighed by what other countries do.
Right.
Like I think renewable energy is as good as a solution in the rest of the world as it is in the US in parts of the country where they're in energy poverty and they really or parts of the world where they're in energy poverty and really may not have energy. You can build a small solar array and then
And a lot of people are, and honestly,
Yeah.
faring much better than developing countries who
Yeah.
got themselves on reliant on oil.
right.
They countries often won't see the same severe shocks that like someone. I wish I could remember. There's a country who has been importing a lot of their energy with cheap solar panels and stuff from China. They are insulated from the shocks that
Right.
nations that are reliant on oil. Whenever oil prices spike, it's very difficult for them to
Yeah.
combat those things. And more to your point, things like we're talking about, like the Paris Agreement and COP30. Yes, they're not maybe accomplishing the things we want right now, but the point is that this is not it's not one country's not going to solve it. It is a global problem, and ideally we'd be working together. And if the United States is leading the way on these things, that is a massive directional change. It's not just like, oh, well, China and India, so we might as well.
Yeah. And one thing I feel like I've learned in the past year is like, I don't quote me on this, but I don't think the US has ever led the way on this really. Like they've pretty much always been an obstacle, at all these attempts at multilateralism around climate. Like we've never been doing it really, really well. I think like it's always been other countries particularly countries that are most vulnerable that have been like the loudest voices calling for faster action. So as bad as it is to have Trump in charge, it's not like we've ever had anyone in charge who's like, I mean, Biden did some good stuff with the Inflation Reduction Act, but it's not like we've ever had a full climate warrior leading the country.
That was kind of that was like the one thing that I remember gave me some kind of optimism was it was so long ago. I wish I remember who it was. They asked some climate scientists to like give your at least give some optimistic take here. How would you give people hope? And they basically said that things are dire, but we've never tried.
Right.
We've never like actually tried to solve it.
Right.
So we don't know what we're capable of because we've never even made any kind of real legitimate effort.
And I think another thing to keep in mind, like a metaphor I heard, or rather like a idea that I heard that I thought was really good, is that every fraction of a degree counts. And if your garage is on fire, you don't say, okay, my whole house is on fire. You deal with the problem that's in front of you. So I think it's definitely a bad idea to say like, we're fucked. But at the same time, I mean, people need to get loud.
Well, so what? I mean, you guys are kind of like in the business of getting loud. So what is that?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, yeah, I think
you guys are kind of, directly involved with the narrative of climate, right?
Yeah, I feel like I was just thinking about this today. Like, if I don't know what I would do right now to personally make an impact other than, if I owned a house, I would get solar panels on. I would get a heat pump rather than a boiler. But I know that like learning a lot about this has just made me feel that actions that I take in the future as my life goes forward will be as like climate conscious as possible, because it's just like, it's a really interesting issue. It's really tragic, and it's going to take collective action. But the more that you incorporate that thinking into your life just by becoming like sort of a spokesperson for the fucking better.
Yeah, but I'm curious. Yeah. I'm curious how like the Crooked Climate Initiative. I'm just curious more about what their, I guess, what the goals are exactly on driving narrative based.
Yeah, totally
change.
I think it's in the absence of political discourse or discourse coming from politicians about climate. I think there's a space for any sort of person making things, talking on a microphone to kind of step into the void and just sort of remind people that this isn't going away. I was talking to our mutual friend, Zach Bornstein, our beloved friend.
Shout out Zach Bornstein.
And he was like, climate is at one time, this was my number one issue. And now it feels like the rise of fascism and, people getting taken off the streets and deported has just taken on such greater gravity than that climate has kind of fallen out. And that's totally good and fine.
That is, yeah.
That's what a lot of people feel.
But like I was saying before, I feel like it fell out before that. It just wasn't a big issue in the election. And I don't quite know how to account for it. It's because
whatever Trump says goes and becomes reality. And he tells everybody it's not a big deal. It's fucking nothing. It's fake news. We have no choice but to live in that world.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's true, and that's a failure. I think that's a failure of politicians who are just capitulating to that. I think they choose to live in his reality and go, we don't know what to do, so fracking. I guess we're gonna frack. But yeah, I don't like. Remember the Sunrise Movement?
Right. I mean, it's true. And right now, the Sunrise Movement has made. They were instrumental in the activism that led to the Inflation Reduction Act. The Green New Deal sort of evolved into the more like moderated Inflation Reduction Act. But yeah,
even in 2020, it was like the Sunrise Movement has graded every Democratic candidate's climate plan, and they gave Joe Biden an F, and everyone was like, he's toast.
But yeah, they made like a public announcement about pivoting their messaging to become more about authoritarianism and just taking on
which makes sense in the moment.
I think it's you can't really begin to have climate action under authoritarianism or fascism or whatever. But I mean that doesn't address what you're saying about just Democrats talking about it. And I think, I don't know, maybe those centrist pollster deciding to win people have some like rationale and saying that it's not an issue that people that hits people's ear well when they
I
like
think-
have a bunch of other problems.
I think what they're going off of is what Ben's saying is almost like a capitulation. Like, look, we're getting our asses kicked out there on
Yeah.
that. Like, just don't bring it up. They don't want to hear about it. Rather than being like, hey, how can we actually talk about this? And I mean, this goes much deeper. I think the problem is that they oftentimes can't because their jobs kind of depend on them not talking about climate change because they are also a corporate party.
I think it's also tough because not only just Americans, but humans generally, we are a very skeptical species.
right.
And it's really hard to tell people, you know, this, not that it's nebulous, but like hey, we are projecting years into the future. People are bad enough with planning for good things.
Right.
You know, like their own fucking retirement.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get everybody. I think it's just really hard to get everybody on board, unfortunately, until it's too late and the problem's staring them in the face. And even then,
Right.
when you start to have catastrophic damage from hurricanes or flooding or whatever, wildfires,
You just blame that on trans
you just
people.
blame it on blame it on immigrant, trans, handicapped people,
Right.
or just anything else, Democrat negligence in
Yeah.
if it's a Democrat-run city or state or something. Oh, they
Yeah.
didn't prepare enough.
And I think
So I don't know. It just feels like a very tough thing to get people on board for when you can't say, here's this thing. It's a problem now that you've got to.
Yeah. And I think denial coming out of the fossil fuel industry is very smart. Like they're not dumb about it. And they
No.
have a lot of smart people figuring out how to make these messages stick. You know, at this point, you can't easily, as a conservative politician, say climate change isn't real. I mean, they did that for a long time. Now they can't do it anymore. It's just so obvious with all the extreme weather. So now there's more evolved lines where they say they kind of deny the solution, or they talk about how climate change is real, but in some ways it's good. That's like a big line coming out of Trump's Secretary of Energy. He's like, more carbon dioxide means more plants. He literally says there's more plant food in the air. So climate change, so burning fossil fuels is good. And you know, like talking about my job, like posting stuff on the Crooked Ideas Instagram and TikTok and stuff, we get a lot of comments that they're very informed, denying some of the solutions we're talking about, but they're informed in this completely like disinformation based direction where it's like people have really evolved ideas about why solar panels are not effective, but or why climate change is not something that needs to be addressed. But yeah, they're so biased by like disinformation out of rich people.
I always thought that perhaps a winning idea or a winning narrative rather would just be, hey, even if you wouldn't say this exactly, but like, even if this is wrong or incorrect,
say it.
Wouldn't it be nice to have clean air and clean water?
Boo.
And
But what about a
clean
Ford
That guy's
F-150?
gay.
And
We hate him.
we can make the F-150 fucking hybrid. We've got hybrids.
I wanna hear
I
it.
have to say, that is the lamest thing to me. I mean, look, some people need a truck, but it's so funny to be like, look, I want an EV because I care about the planet, but it has to be a Hummer. Like, just like don't.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I mean that's a whole issue, and I find
Yeah.
it it's the most American way to come
So
at this
funny.
problem. They are building the Hummer EV is a perfect example. We are building electric vehicles that are so heavy
Right.
that it's not even efficient.
I think,
anymore.
I'll say, I think they are still more efficient than even if you're getting your energy for your Hummer EV from the grid, which is coming from a natural gas plant, that's still more efficient than burning gas in your car. But it's true. And you know, to use your word earlier, the gay word,
Mhm.
I think a Hummer EV is gay.
Yeah, they are. They are. Do you guys remember FUH2?
FUH.
Is that a Oh
I don't know what that is.
totally.
I was featured on that website.
Wait, I didn't.
Do
I
FUH2.com.
just thought that was maybe a movement. I didn't realize that was a site.
It was a website where you but did they shut it down? People would just
flip
take
off a
photos
Hummer.
of Hummers
So,
and
that is
and
very
we got to
funny.
bring that back.
you'd submit it.
When I was a kid, I was
Although very Democrat coded.
That's cool. There
It
should
is-
also be a sticker on the Hummer that says, I got this before Elon went nuts. Even though like I know he didn't make those, it just kind of be a funny sticker to put on the Hummer.
It is funny.
I should
I mean,
get that for my truck.
Yeah.
I got this before he went nuts. And it's like, who? Timmy Toyota?
you said I know some people need a truck. I don't want to call out my truck guys out there, but
Yeah, careful. You're sitting next to
I am
one.
going to call out my truck
Mine's
guys.
efficient.
Yours
you know?
is fine. Yours is like a tiny old
Yeah.
truck, but there is nothing that gets me more than like your.
Wait,
your,
you say more hard?
no, gets
Okay,
me
got it.
more
Okay,
like
got it. I thought you
more
said-
pissed
I thought you
than
said nothing
like
more hard. Okay, got it.
your constantly sparkly clean, massive pickup truck in a city. Like you're in New York and there's just a guy just halfway into the bike lane because his truck is so big. It's like, what do you do? What are you doing with this thing?
When I see a car that has a snorkel on it, I'm like, you guys know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are you? You're like doing like tours of the bay, or you're like driving
Yeah.
around. What on earth is this thing? River
Yeah, you
tours.
see those in Australia a lot.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I think that's totally fine because they are on more efficient, smaller
Well, and
trucks.
they got to be ready for the whole Mad Max thing.
Well,
anyway,
and
down there.
flooding and stuff. Yeah,
And Mad Max.
snorkels, vehicle snorkel.
I would see one in my neighborhood in Los Feliz all the time. A snorkel truck with like, those little gas
Cans?
gas
Yeah.
cans on the side of
Maybe
it.
he's froading a lot. You don't know what he's doing on the weekends.
Wait, you said it's what?
Froading?
What's that?
Off-roading.
Oh.
Oh,
Boy, you guys didn't grow up in Southern California.
certainly not.
Yeah.
Wait, so why
If
would
you said froating in New Jersey, you'd get killed.
I thought
Yeah.
that was a sex act for sure.
Oh, wait, so what? What were you gonna say?
I thought. I was gonna ask what off-roading has to do with the snorkel, but I guess it's off-roading in a deep
Because
in a deep source
you
Yeah,
might
do
end up
this kind of
crossing a
thing.
river. You
Yeah.
might up having to fjord a river.
You guys ever been to driven past Ocotillo Wells by Anza Borrego Desert? This is
You
in
just
No,
threw
but I've
two
been to-
words at me that I
I've
don't
been
know.
to Borrego for the courts.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Ocotillo Wells is like a skate park for cars that they have out there. And
Oh, that's
it's like
fun.
I think it's the birthplace of off-roading 4x4. It's so
Is it a
cool.
lot? I bet there's a ton of Jeep owners out there.
There's a lot of Jeep owners, and I drove by there, and there's just a bunch of kids on dirt bikes. It's called OCO.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, you
It's
just had
so
it.
cool. Look at that.
This is our problem, though. Americans,
No, but this is cool.
they-
It's called Truck Haven. I mean, that's Mad Max.
we
all
love
day.
too much.
We love freedom.
We love the guns and we love the cars. We really want to fuck our cars.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you break people off that.
I know.
You make that seem gay.
That is
That's the Democrats'
we
next
need our
hurdle. is-
we need our sharpest minds talking about how to change the narrative on this.
Yeah,
How that's it.
man.
Our sharpest minds are we need to get Joe Biden, wheel him out, and he gets on the mic and says,
I
skate
love
parks for
trucks.
cars are gay.
No, he says that they're cool.
Oh, sorry.
you got to
sorry.
make it
Yes.
lame.
Oh, but then him saying it makes people not like it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
yeah,
gotta
that's
have
right.
Joe
Get
Biden
him-
saying, "I love my Ford F350, and I love taking it to Ocotillo Wells and doing that. I'll take anybody on who wants to." They'd be like, "Well, this is lame. I don't want to do this
Yeah,
anymore."
that's true.
We got to
Gay
get
old Joe Biden likes this.
we got to get Red Bull to sponsor. Joe Biden is driving like a Ford F-150 over a bunch of electric vehicles or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna own.
I'm gonna crush these stupid.
He did do it.
EVs.
Yeah, he did do a Hummer EV. That was a funny like Joe Biden thing. I think maybe it was related to the Inflation Reduction Act. He was like, "Guys, EVs are cool. Like here I am behind the wheel of a Hummer EV. Yeah, Hummer EV sales plummet." The
Oh,
next
yeah.
day.
No
I don't know,
way.
maybe.
We also-
I'm just
okay.
sort of theory.
We
Yeah.
also need bikini babes doing washing
like a
solar
Nissan
panels.
Leaf.
Ooh, that
Solar
could be
panels,
good.
yeah. Or Nissan Leafs. Some of them are sexy, man. The Hyundai Ioniq.
The Hyundais are that's cool.
That thing's
I mean, the
cool
solar
looking.
panel. Some of it is funny. I mean, if you have any kind of beef with solar panel, I've lived in multiple houses now with solar panels, and seeing your electric bill come down,
Yeah, that's cool.
fucking whips ass.
California is screwed up real bad with those on the rooftop ones.
No
They
kidding.
changed the-
California screwed something up?
Yeah, they changed the rules. So it used to be that you would, when you sold excess energy from your solar panel back to the utility, it was like 1-to-1 of what you paid for energy, but they cut it to 25%. That's
Oh,
bullshit.
that is bullshit.
Yeah.
I made that with my own roof.
I know, that's amazing. It's
I
so
harnessed
cool.
the power of the sun
You
and
get
I
to do
gave
that?
it back to you.
You have that?
Yeah,
That's so cool.
it is. They
Not
did.
me.
They did stop working though, and we had to fix it, which was annoying. But
How did you fix it?
We
Plug
had to
it.
hire someone.
Okay.
It was not an unplug and plug situation. That,
Oh,
believe
man.
me, no, that would have been
Just gotta count to 3. Maybe.
yeah. I went up on the roof and just was like, and just got
Pissed.
that. I was like, what am I doing up here?
You had like knee pad. You bought knee pads. Went up there.
That is not an Emil fixing it
happen.
situation.
Well, folks, let us know what you think. Is climate change a hoax? Are EVs and solar panels gay? And also, you know what I mean. Come on.
No, John, before you go, do you have any parting words for us? We also want to let you plug anything you want to plug.
yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, plug in a
Battery.
battery or a solar panel, for Christ's sakes.
Go follow the Ideas account, the Crooked Ideas account at Crooked Ideas.
Everywhere social media is found.
Everywhere they find social. And then if you're listening to this and you sort of like one of the more comedic aspects of my humor,
Follow John.
yeah, follow me. And I'm making I made a short film that we're gonna post in January, I think. And it's
great.
It's really fun. I made it
On
with Rekha
Crooked Ideas?
Shankar. No, this is just something I did with my pal John Mackey, but I'm excited about it.
2 Johns, 1 movie.
I know yeah. And it's like that. It's like the thing he referenced, the two Johns 1 movie.
And what?
like the-
and where can they follow you?
Yeah. What's your?
I think on Instagram I'm J Millstein
he
1.
thinks.
Yeah, I believe. And then
J.
I don't know.
Millstein.
Spell that.
J MILLSTEIN number 1. And then there's X. My name's also J Millstein. J. So you can go over there, and then I have all sorts
There's
of
you
posts.
reaching out.
Yeah, I have posts galore.
Wow, you were one of the early ones on Threads. Look at that.
Oh,
You're in the 6 digits.
That's pathetic.
What do you mean the 6 digits?
you
Like
erase that?
Can you go back up?
It has you're basically ranked.
Can you
Ew,
erase
dude,
that
you
I
got on
joined
there that
Threads then?
early?
Yeah.
No, it's stuck on there.
Can we
This
look-
is live.
Did you ever get on Threads?
Yeah, I have.
I threaded
Threads.
Can we
couple-
see what Ben's is?
I don't
Yeah,
think
go on
mine
your
shows
thread.
on there.
Threads can really be awesome.
But John is a very fun follow. He's a very funny boy. He's also very smart, and he's doing God's work over at
This was so fun.
Crooked Ideas. So go follow him, and we're all looking forward to the 2 Johns movie,
I'm not on there.
Yeah.
the untitled 2 Johns project.
Yes. That'll be really good.
Can you see mine? Can you see what my Threads thing is? I don't know if I even have one. Just go to Instagram.
Threads
real quick.
can really deliver. You guys remember in week 1 of Threads? I guess not because you were there. Only I was. But
I was there. I know I joined
I
it
was
at some
there.
point.
Every
Why am I being shadow banned on here? There we go.
every beautiful
5
person.
million.
There were so many beautiful people on Threads whose first thread was like, "What sort of content do you want from me on Threads?"
Oh,
like
yeah.
you have like 1 million Instagram
Yeah.
followers, but no thoughts.
My favorite thing was it was just like for a week, it was just like brands being like, "What's up?
Threads is crazy.
Yeah,
Mine's all like porn. When I
Really?
go on there, that's my because I
Are you
never
sure?
go on there.
says a lot about him.
Well, no, my explore page, since I'm not on there, its default is just like
But you don't mean
women.
porn. It's kind of
It's
like
like it's like
bikini.
OnlyFans.
he does
girls.
watch a lot of weird videos though. So.
It's like OnlyFans girls being like, "What outfit would I get banned if I wore this?" And
The
it's like,
internet.
what are you doing?
I really feel like we have reached a point where we need to turn it off. It's so
Yeah, yeah.
I am
bad.
fully in favor. Someone
Yeah.
needs to go to the bottom of the ocean and
Yeah.
cut the cables. I
It's
think
so
it's the
bad.
only
we
solution.
got to train a shark to go down there and bite the cable.
I feel
Uh,
like that. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, you go.
One bipartisan thing that we should. I think that the Republicans really got on board with. We hate porn. I think Democrats should embrace that too.
I agree.
I think porn. I kind of do think it's kind of evil.
Yeah. No, it is bad. It
It
is.
definitely is not good for people's souls, and it's
Yeah.
doing something to us.
But if you're doing it and you're making a good living and you're happy, that's good. I don't think it's
Yeah.
evil in the sense of like it's against God, but it just
No,
seems
I
like,
don't think. I think everything right now is bad for us because of the way it's delivered to us. I think
So
we were
bad.
never supposed to have just like constant information being like just chucked at us, and that includes like.
breasts.
Sure, I think you rent a porno, fucking have at it.
It's
But-
like gambling.
but
You
just like-
should have to go to a store.
Yeah, but just the fact that it's inescapable, the fact that like I'm just like let me scroll a little bit on Twitter. It's like cool. There's an asshole. There's some
It's
tits. What
crazy.
the
Yeah.
fuck is going
Shouldn't
on?
be like that.
Damn, what's your timeline look like? Jesus Christ. Anyway, all right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving.
Follow John. Follow John, and DM him.
Shut
nice
up,
things.
dude. Stop. All right, over.
Coming up on this week's episode of Ben and EMIL'S Show.com.
it fits anywhere.
Maybe it's not the coolest thing, but I like that people
Look at that. Look at how dumb this lady looks.
Why though?
Ugh.
A, it's extremely affordable.
Sure.
B, it fits. Wow, look at all those colors.
Moto Compo, not Moto Compacto. I like this guy. Also, this part may be a surprise for you then. Products can be made and sold even if they don't solve problems or have any significant purpose.
No, that's not me. I think this.
And then this guy goes, weird comment, dude.
We gotta get off the fucking motorcycle. This is not made for these
you're
guys.
right,
These
you're
guys
right.
are like fucking motorcycles.
Yeah.
This guy literally has his
Wait, I like this.
his model of 2014 Triumph Tiger 8. Do you think this guy gives a shit about a Moto Compacto?
No, I like this guy though. Rode one at the LA Auto Show. Stupid, ridiculous, and I can't think of any use case where neither driving your car closer or riding an actual bicycle is better.
Guy, okay, no,
I still
that
want
guy
one.
is a fucking idiot.
He
that
says
guy
I
is
still want one for the sheer goof.
That guy is a fucking moron. He can't think of a single use case.
I can't do it.
How
then.
many fucking tubes are you taking?
I can't
No,
do it.
it wasn't that. It's just
How
I was
many?
like,
Like 4?
more than 4.
6?
I would say probably about 6. I was just surprised.
I would die.
They
and
just
then,
kept going in the basket, and some lady came in, some old Asian lady came in and was like, clearly holding her piss.
like in her hand, or
the
like
cup.
I gotta go.
No, in the cup, and was like, I forgot to put it in the basket, and I was like, get out of here.
Piss lady.
I don't want to see you holding your piss.
Yeah.